One time I activated my kundalini energy. The kundalini serpent took over my body, kicked my spirit out of my body. God had to save me and was really mad at me and reprimanded me. So my name is Phoenix and I can see in the spirit realm. This encounter happened back in my college days when I was like 20, 21 or 22 or something, living in Flagstaff, Arizona. At this point, I was still kind of dabbling in New Age, obviously. Like I kept coming back to Christ, but then I would kind of like slink back into New Age practice. Just to give you that mindset that I was in, I was just a very disobedient child to God. And it was like at a time where I just kept like, things would happen and then I was like, okay, God's the real God. I have to follow Jesus and stuff. But then certain things would just slip back in and then I would just, before you know it, be back down this like New Age rabbit hole. This is one of those times. I used to meditate and astral project regularly. Meditation is totally biblical, so like there is a biblical way to do it. The way I was doing it at the time was not. A lot of the times when I was meditating, I would feel this energy at the base of my spine. I would also then focus on each of my chakras and like focus on them to open them up, which is also totally demonic. Don't do that. But I would do that and then I would feel that energy at the base of my spine start like creeping up my spine, and as it would sway my body back and forth like a snake. In the New Age, this is called like kundalini spirit activation, and it's a practice that originated in Hinduism. In this belief, it's said that there's this kundalini energy at the base of our spine, and it's like this massive source of feminine energy of creation. Supposedly, once you unlock it, you're supposed to reach spiritual enlightenment and spiritual liberation, basically feel like a god in your body. So I had heard about this for years and was very interested in trying it, and a lot of times when I would be meditating, I would feel that energy like slithering up my spine. It was not me moving my body side to side. I would literally feel this energy doing that. But I would always chicken out once it got near the top of my spine and I would stop it. Until one time I didn't. I was sitting outside of my house that I was living in at the time. I don't know where any of my roommates were, and I was just stargazing and looking at all the beautiful pine trees at night. I remember I was just sitting there, started meditating, and I felt that energy like throbbing at the base of my spine. I just finally decided, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let it happen and just let it get to the top. I just let it move through my body and it was swaying me side to side until it reached the top of my spine, like where your spine connects into your skull. When it did, the instant it hit like the back up here, I remember feeling electrified. My body kept swaying more intensely, and it was like my whole body was vibrating, literally physically vibrating. Also felt like something was trying to crawl out of me, like a snake shedding its skin, but the skin was me, my body. I remember getting really scared in this moment because I felt this energy and I could feel like the consciousness of some other spirit or entity taking over, and I couldn't control my body. Like the kundalini energy had literally taken over my body. Suddenly, I remember there was like a flash of light, and I was outside of my body, looking at my body on the porch. Mind you, this balcony is like pretty high off the ground, like a story off the ground. I was up there like floating, looking at my body on the porch. I'd astral projected before, so this wasn't like unusual for me. But what freaked me out was like, I could see something else in my body. It looked just like me, obviously, but it looked evil. It was like smiling at me like this with like an evil smile that I would never do. Then it contorted its face and like my eyes looked like serpent eyes or snake eyes. And its face like contorted as well and like the nose pressed in and stuff. So then it looked like me, but like as a serpent. It then completely transformed and was like cloaked in shadow and just grew until it was like this big man that looked like me but made out of shadow, and then also like a serpent for head and glowing red eyes. It held up its hands like a puppet master and started doing things like this. As it was doing that, it was manipulating my spirit as it was like manipulating its fingers, and I couldn't control it, and it was like turning me around and putting my hands behind my back. I was absolutely terrified at this. Like, to tell you, I don't think I've ever been as scared as I was in that moment where I done knew I effed up. I just felt like such a fool and so stupid. Just kept grinning as it was manipulating me and like moving my spirit further and further away into the forest, away from the house. At first it was making me do stupid things like dance or like do this weird thing like manipulating me, and then it started moving me further and further away again. I was just so freaking out, and I did the only thing that I could think to do, and so I just called out for the name of Jesus, not expecting him to come because here I was again blatantly disobeying him. Evil me on the porch just laughed as I was calling out to Jesus and said, "You literally invited me into your body." Just didn't know what else to do. I was moving further and further away from my body. I felt like if I got too far, I was going to be separated or something. Just kept calling out to Jesus. I was like, "Jesus, please, like Jesus, I'm so sorry. Like Jesus, please save me." While this thing is just cackling and laughing maniacally. Suddenly, in another flash of light, I was suddenly back in my body on the patio. Standing in front of me was a massive angel, just made out of pure golden light, super muscular and jacked, but he had no other features. He looked kind of like a mannequin, you know, like no facial features or anything like that, just two burning balls of like orange fire for his eyes. In one arm, he held out like a massive sword that just had an orange fire for the blade. His other arm, he was just holding out like the serpent. And it just looked like this massive black serpent with glowing red eyes. If you've ever seen pictures of like chakras like this, it had those glowing points along the whole spine that were just glowing. It was the kundalini serpent. The serpent was just hissing and writhing in anger. And this angel just looked at me like, it was like, really? I just felt like such a bad little kid. Also, at the same time when that angel was looking at me like that, I felt the anger of God. If you've never felt this, God bless you. You don't want to. That is scary. Like the whole world and reality is mad at me because you can feel God, but he's just everything everywhere. And so it was like I could feel him, but his conscious energy like around me, like usually where I feel his love and joy, it was not like that. I could feel it was like he was also projecting his anger through the angel there as well. They were both just like so disappointed where they didn't even say anything. They didn't have to. The anger and the energy of God's anger was enough to absolutely terrify me. Suddenly the angel and holding the serpent was just gone. And I remember I was just ran back into my house, ran into my room, just started reading the Bible and just like praying and repenting. I've repented of any new age practices or anything I could think of. Learn from my mistakes. The kundalini energy is real. Your chakras are real. For those wondering, chakras are real energetic points in the body, but we are not made to open them. You don't need to open them. When you open them up, it's literally like creating access points or little portals in your body spiritually for things to come in and out as they want to. Luckily, we serve a merciful, forgiving God that is way too gracious for our own good. Jesus Christ is the King and the only way, the truth, and the life.